before I even
Yeah.
said anything. Okay, so just a quick, we got Nathaniel here for the closing hangout, and we kind of already got into some of the feedback before we started the recording. But anyway, just to continue um, from what you said, so the suggestion or the question was whether or not it would be feasible or something that we would want to do, have instead of having every week sessions, having it every other week. So, I mean, technically, I wouldn't be against doing that, but it seems like having a weekly, having a weekly routine over a certain period of time definitely kind of kicks you off on the road of consistency. uh, I mean, and then also in addition to that, uh, we're generally kind of looking for people that become points of contact to kind of have those 2 to 4 hours a week of time for activity anyway. So it would be it would be kind of let's say it would suggest that there is less to be done than there necessarily is, which not every month is as busy as the other depending on what's going on. I'm sure that you found that out yourself now that when you were participating with organizing an event and whatnot, that takes a lot more of your time.
Yeah.
And so it's not expected that every month there's going to be an event, in your area. Depending on this group, later on, maybe that can happen, but not for one person, obviously. So, so obviously you need to pace yourself, but there is some kind of a minimum proactive amount of time that we would be looking for, just so that people also know, look, there's going to be some things that will have to get done. And it seems like these 2 to 4 hours a week are kind of what we're shooting for. So let's say two would be kind of the minimum, and then let's say 3 to 4 would be optimum amount, and then whatever more than that, it obviously just would be icing on the cake. But generally, that's kind of what we were aiming for, and so that's why the orientation is structured the way that it is. um, I understand that maybe for some people that's a little bit more than what they can chew, but in that case, I would suggest maybe there are other global teams that you can join that are less um, uh, that require less of uh, proactivity, but more reactive. Like you can do whenever you can do, you do. If you don't do, no big deal. Whereas here, there are some responsibilities. You have to at least check your emails. You have to try and answer people if they contact you, etc. So it is a little bit more of a responsibility. So that needs to be made clear in the beginning, and that's a little bit of what the orientation is intended for, actually. So
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
um,
I'm actually glad that you elaborate on it because I, the consistency part, I can understand why that would be important. Especially now that I've done these two events. Evan and I were speaking about not leaving people hanging with just one event every couple of months or like one event a year, something like that. We really want to have this up and running and try to look be as proactive as possible, as you were saying, and getting the
yeah,
word out, volunteering and doing the best that we can as volunteers, to fulfill our role, our function in this.
yeah, yeah. It definitely makes a difference. Although maybe it won't make a difference right away, and it won't necessarily be the immediate uh, difference of activity that we generally all want to see, people just getting on board. But you do it long enough, then people see that you're consistent as well, and that they see that that you're doing things. And so a lot of times I have random people just not coming up to me here, but back home, in Slovenia, a lot of times when I meet people, they're like, "Oh, I see that you're still doing that and that," and they, a little bit of, and I'm like, "Huh, I didn't know that that's something that you even care about." So, you can see that people have that interest, but it's just hard to find the people that make steps to
Yeah.
follow that towards activity. That's really tough. Um, so yeah, and that's really the kind of people that we're looking for here. And then also if you're somebody that kind of starts off already on a shaky ground of how much they can dedicate, it's very hard for us and for them, I guess, to expect that. Hey, what if when you get, like you said, when you get some people that are depending on you, quote unquote, that you're going to be maybe doing something more and helping them out and getting them involved, and then you just disappear because you don't have time anymore. Not the best scenario generally. I mean, for you guys it's great because it just so happens that there's going to be four of you right in
Yeah.
Massachusetts, which is great, but it's not always like that. So
Yeah.
and we are looking to have at least three people everywhere that we can, um, just because for that same reason, people get, I don't know, different jobs, different whatever. They start back school, they do this, they do that, and a lot of times the volunteer part is the first one to get cut from
Yeah.
what you're doing. So that's just the reality, I guess. But yeah, I mean, but overall, I mean, um, the number of people. Let me just pull up a quick. Let me pull up this quick survey. Just so that you get maybe a little bit of feedback for you too, because we've now had quite a bit of, well, quite a bit, not that many yet, but um, there's been a decent amount of questions. I mean, of people that have gone through. Uh, why is this not showing up, Joe? Hmm. Huh. Oh, that's strange. Oh, okay, we're looking at the wrong thing. Oh, yeah, okay. So as far as the summary, just so we've had 14, so 14 of people have so far finished this version of the orientation. So
Okay.
you included. So we've had about 80% of those people said that the orientation in general was long enough, and only one person of everybody said that it was too long.
Hmm. Interesting.
Um, and then there was some that had other recommendations, etc. But just so that you have a little bit of an overview. As far as the amount of work, generally, people, weekly, people said that it was as much as they expected. So that was half of the people said that there was as much as expected. There's 30%, five people said that even if it was a little bit more, they wouldn't mind. So even if it was a little bit more, they wouldn't mind. And then there's no, sorry, two people that wouldn't mind if there was more work, and then five people said that if it was more, that it would probably be too much for them. So we're kind of on the just kind of where we want to be, for the most part. And then generally that it's not overwhelming, and and so forth. So that's pretty much just for that part, maybe a little bit of feedback.
Okay. I actually just thought about something right now too, which I don't know if if you guys would do this, but considering the fact that every week we go through a different topic, whether it be human behavior, city systems, the scientific method, and we do get links to certain lectures, whether it be through Jock or some other YouTube link. Um, I think it would be great if after each session, for the topic of that week, there would be a book recommended, and it could be from the Venus Project's recommended reading list that would relate
Mhm.
to that topic. So that way, after we finish or whenever we have time, we can start reading that book and get a little bit of more information behind this if it really resonates with us. And I think that would really deepen our understanding of not only where Jock got it from, or what not only where Jock got it from, but also just trying to familiarize ourselves with that concept. It'll give us more examples to work with, more tools to toss around in our heads, and in turn, be able to speak to other people in a much more efficient way. It could be one book or multiple books, but this is just something I just thought about right now that I think would be extensional to everyone.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a good point. One of the reasons why we let's say hesitated a little bit with putting up or suggesting too much material is just because we generally would like people to be focused on the orientation first.
Oh,
So that's just from the practical point of view. Of course, those that do have more time, that would be ideal if you can spend more time on reading or watching lectures, etc. That's all additional understanding, and that's great. Um, but also one of the reasons why we maybe took a little bit of a step back, because before orientation was actually even a little bit longer, as far as the weeks, and actually had even more, let's say, more topics that were taken from the lectures, meaning either Jacques lectures or TVP relevant lectures.
okay.
And we kind of cut that down a little bit because what happened is that a lot of people would go through those topics, but then we wouldn't have enough of sessions that would be talking about what to do now, and topics about communication from the point of view of what how we communicate or try to communicate here, and things that had to do with organizing events, those sessions.
Yeah.
All that was added later, and then we decided to really kind of chop it back a little bit and really just work with the basics, so that we could kind of compress it into under 6 months, and then at the same time, hopefully, have people when they were finishing already kind of having this active approach to what to do next. So that seemed more important, and it seems more important for the orientation, as we have it, and for the purpose that we have it. But then, of course, I think that we could have that just as an additional material, maybe in one of the um, and an additional column, maybe, where we have those resources. I mean, where we have the links to the videos and to all the we could have that there just for people that maybe enjoy reading books,
Yeah.
as it is, and do it before they go to sleep or things like that. That would be there. So yeah, I think that's a good suggestion. But yeah, we just kind of try to limit ourselves, so that it's not too much. And then a lot of times we also had, before, we invited people to come to POC study groups, which Then some people did, but they didn't. They did that and then didn't do the orientation stuff. So it's kind of like, let's just, this is the starting goal. Let's get there first, and then whatever you want to do from there, we're all about it. So
Yeah. All right.
but yeah,
That's completely understandable.
yeah. All right, let me go through all the stuff that we have here. So um, uh, I didn't see the recording for you guys' session that you had, the last one that you did, the closing,
Okay.
not the closing session, but the trial by fire session. Um, so so that would be, generally, for my group, I give them some feedback, as far as, I don't know if Sue has already done that, maybe at the session itself, or if not, maybe when she gets her computer back up and running, she might hit you up just to give you some feedback on that, because that's always helpful to kind of give a little feedback of what was done for the presentation purposes, especially, and since she has the most, I guess, experience out of our group anyway.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll kind of skip over that for now, but I'll let her know that if she wants to do that, either put it in writing maybe and send it to you, or however she wants to do it. So we're gonna go on. Okay, so this is gonna be a little bit of documents for you, and I'll try to clearly point out which ones are the most important ones,
Okay.
and which ones are kind of for you to explore, and to kind of know that they're there, really. And I will share them to you in the Hangout.
Oh,
Sorry, not in the Hangout, because it's going to delete in the Skype chat.
yeah.
So you can
Yeah,
have
that
that.
actually works best for me because the tablet that I'm using, it doesn't ever show up. So when people type in the chat, like whenever we're having a session, I never get to see the messages. So they usually have to message me through Skype for me to even have them. So
Yeah, yeah. So that's pretty much. I mean, that's standard. Uh, that's a standard practice. So I usually always send over everything,
okay,
and I'll just drop you a slew of stuff that we have to go through, and then we're just gonna go one by one
okay,
over these. But let me see if I can just copy and paste all this like that, and then paste it. Okay. Oh, that works. That's great. Okay, this one is here. Okay, this one's here. Oops. Let's put some spaces between them. Okay, so in the meantime, when I'm doing that, you guys already have uh, the email massachusetts.us at TVP support. Oopsie, I clicked enter too fast. I have to edit this. You don't need here. Ooh. Okay. All right. I think that's everything now.
okay.
Um, so we got a couple of links here. We got a document, POC documents folder. We got relevant links for POCs. We got POC responsibilities. And then we got POC discussion group spreadsheet and the guidelines for social media now. So we'll just go through those.
All right. It's for the first link. It's telling me that I need access.
Yeah, you're gonna need access for most of these. So as we go, I'm gonna open them up.
Okay.
for you.
I just requested access for the first one.
That's okay. Uh, I'll share this whole thing. Wait, this is the wrong address. You have a Gmail too, right?
Yes, yes, I do.
Mm.
Do you need me to send it to you through Skype?
Yeah, because I already used it before, but I don't know. It's not coming up.
All right. I'll send it over right.
Oh, I know why it's not coming up because I didn't use it in the drive. Yeah, okay. I thought that was it. Okay, so let's put this one. Okay, so you should have access now.
All right.
Um, so there's a few things here that you're gonna be that you can just kind of go around and explore a little bit, but there are a few things that we're definitely gonna touch on.
Okay.
And those are the ones that we're going to touch on. Some of them are here in the unsorted part. So the ones that are not in the folder. Um, there's the POC discussion group that we're going to talk about, relevant links for POCs, and some of the other stuff. So basically, these are just some of the documents that we use fairly often, and some of the ones that are most important you can bookmark. You can bookmark this whole folder too.
Right.
Some of the things that are useful here are a lot of it is archive. So there's archive for POC meeting agenda documents dating back to 2013,
Wow.
um, and everything to now. There's some promotional materials there. There's some that we have the uploaded POC study group lectures that are on the drive. So things like that are here. So everything basically that we need is here as far as the documents, be it lectures, videos, or spreadsheets. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, or documents, Word documents. Um, for now, you have view only for stuff. For the most part, many of these are open. Um, Documents are open to suggestions, so you can suggest things, or you can leave comments. So, and then we get notified if something like that is there. And also, if you find that something is missing, or something is, not accurate, off, or doesn't belong somewhere, just let me know or Sue, and we'll fix it, or add it, or edit it, or whatever needs to be done.
Okay.
Okay. But anyway, we're not going to open these now and go through them because there's not necessary right now. And the one documents that are down here that are unsorted, the ones that are really important, we're going to go through anyway. So this one you can just bookmark, and then later on you can go through it and see what's there. But that's about it for that one.
Okay.
All right. So, and then the next one down, we have relevant links for POCs. So if you click on that one, open it up.
Relevant links for POCs. Okay.
Yeah. So
Uh,
that's a document. Um, Pretty much everything that you need in regards to, let's say, information, different official tools, materials, social media platforms, stuff like that is here. So if you find anything that's not here, then let me know. And actually, I can see right now that one of the things that we didn't add is the new website for resource-based economy. We can put that one right in.
Okay.
Okay.
I remember reading about the history of how TVP support has evolved, and seeing this, how you guys have all the links in one document. You know, coming from not being as organized as we are today, as far as TVP support goes, to being this well organized is interesting, and I think it just goes to show the growth and the, I guess, the need that people have for wanting a better society or an alternative society that's going to work for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's interesting though because we've had people. Although I have to say, recently we've really not have we haven't had a lot of people leaving, or we haven't had a lot of people that would kind of leave in disagreement or things like that. But have had that in the past. Obviously, it does happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as you've seen in the orientation too, some people just um, can't accept that there are certain views that TVP has
Yeah.
different than what they hold, and that's all right. That's part of the orientation too, to get to know whether or not you want to support the organization. But what I was getting to is that a lot of people were, back in the day, were suggesting, oh, we should do this, we should do that, um, and then they got frustrated and quit before we got to that point, right? So instead of kind of trying to persist and trying to make it better, I guess in some instances we just couldn't get to a common, I guess, understanding or language or whatever you want to call it. And it's unfortunate because a lot of the things that we now have were things that we were talking about at that time, and they were disappointed that weren't there yet. But I mean, that's, I guess it depends. It depends on the person, on the attitude, and all that stuff. But yeah, it's been the progress is usually always slower than you want, but we did get to some of the progress where we want to be, and which is good. There's still a lot to do, and there's still stuff that's not where we want it to be, but yeah. Um, anyway, so yeah, for this one, for this document here, like I said, anything official that you're looking for should be here. If it's not, let us know. If we've forgot to update something, or if you find something that link is broken, that's not working, or that the thing that you're looking for is not there anymore or whatnot, let us know too, and we'll find it and change it. And then the second part of the document is basically the teams, the contacts, and emails. Um, so you can find contacts here as well. So generally, just to go over a quick few of them here, um, admin at TVP support, that's basically our email. So the general TVP support email, if you have somebody that is, I don't know, interested in becoming a point of contact, you can give them that email to send us, to get more information, or any kind of questions about TVP support and what we do. And then the hosts obviously go to the same address. TVP at thevenusproject.com. That's a general TVP email that that Roxanne also goes through. So if there's if there's any kind of proposals from people that would be, let's say, beyond what we can help them with as POCs, generally they can write there and expect an answer.
Okay.
And if it's somebody that you feel is really serious, or something that would be, along the lines of inviting Roxanne to go, to lecture somewhere or something like that, then we can give that person a direct link to Roxanne. So, which is not a problem, which she's pretty responsive to. So, PSU, okay. And then some of these TVP media contacts that are written down here, these are not really in use anymore.
Okay.
So I will actually just completely remove these
Okay.
for now, just because this one is all these are currently going through the website, and they don't everything goes through human resources.
Mm,
So down below you can find the human resources link, HR at the Venus Project. So that goes there, and then on the website under Get Involved now, all the teams that are on the Get Involved have a direct link. So basically, you submit a contact, directly on the website.
oh,
So there's no need for those emails anymore.
okay.
And that's pretty much it. These are the ones that we have here. All the stuff for the LTI is also here. And that's pretty much it.
All right. That's good.
All right. So that's that one. That's one of the ones that you can put as a bookmark later on. It comes in handy. And then the next one is POC responsibilities. I think I'm gonna have to give you access to this one too first. Let's do that now.
All right. Yep. I'm in it right now.
Can you see it?
Yes. Yes. I'm in the document right now.
Okay. And then it should be.
It says requirements, objectives, events, and they're in bold.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But I think if you want to, you think you can only read it, you can't suggest anything right now.
Okay.
So I'll give you the ability to comment, and you'll see why when we scroll down. Anyway, so okay, so this is just some of the first part is pretty much some of the basics. So finish some of the requirements first, meaning what does anybody require to become a point of contact. So obviously finishing the orientation process. Then the second one, basic understanding of the proposals of TVP. So that's evaluated basically through the orientation process. So generally, those that don't come to the finish line are the ones that didn't exhibit that basic understanding. Then good communication skills. That's evaluated in the orientation. For the most part, what we're looking for here is just people that we would try to spot, arrogant or aggressive type of communication, people that are disruptive, that create problems in the working environment, etc. So those are some of the things that we look for to try to avoid, as we've had some problems with that in the past as well. So again, the same thing. Finishing as pretty much means that you got there. And then the last one, organizational skills, at least again, basic understanding just from what we've done in those 3 sessions of trying to prepare for organizing events, and a few other sessions that we're talking about, about collaboration, etc. So so that's the extent to which we can, try to evaluate that. So those are the first part. Any, sorry, any questions?
Not so far, no.
Okay. Then objectives, generally for us, building and organizing a team of volunteers. That's the overall goal for the POCs and all the local teams. And then into a little bit more specifics, encouraging activities like joining global teams, like participating in events, or when the team is bigger, organizing events. You guys have already started to do that, and then sharing relevant information about TVP and RB. This can be done in many different ways, not necessarily just in with events, but also online, et cetera, et cetera. So all that, and then some of the things here, just a little bit about events. For the most part, this is all that you guys have already gone through, but this is also for some of the POCs in the past that didn't have this part in the orientation. But obviously, trying to present the idea that events are a useful tool to promote, as well as motivate people. This would generally be for you too, so that you, as we as POCs, see that something gets done and finished. So it's a nice positive reinforcement. Although it can also be a negative reinforcement if there's an event where somebody expects too much and then not enough people show up. So that part we also try and make pretty clear in the orientation to not try to do too much in too short amount of time, because we've had people before get disappointed and burn out and spend their own money in something that didn't happen, and then it's yeah. So so that part, and then well, this is something that I'm going to talk a little bit more a little bit later, but this is the important part. So this stuff here in red, okay. Vast majority of people that get removed as being point of contacts are, for the most part, just because of inactivity. It's the percentage of people that get removed for some kind of, I don't know, action is very small in comparison to the amount of people that just go inactive. So just to kind of be better at tracking who goes inactive, these are some of the most common reasons why why we get people to the point where I have to, or we have to send messages asking, are you still around, are you okay, is everything okay, etc. So here are the four most common ones. So generally, people should try and come to the monthly meeting in TeamSpeak. Those meetings are every third Sunday of the month, always. There is now, we have every other month there is a time zone change so that we accommodate people that are in different parts of the world. So every third Sunday of the month at 2000 UTC, and then the month after that is Sunday at 200 UTC, meaning 0200 UTC, which for us here would be 9 p.m., 10 p.m.
Okay.
So, but not Sunday, Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay. So, because we've had some miscommunication regarding that, all of the meeting times are always in UTC. So, if it's close to midnight for us here in the continental U.S., you have to see if it goes one day back, which in this case it does. So it's basically Saturday evening. But even if you can't make it, you can still fill out the monthly meeting agenda document, which is sent out 1 week beforehand. And so if you know that you're not going to be there, you can fill it out just in your little window saying I couldn't attend, but this and this is what we've done over the past month. Or even if you don't have anything, you can just say, I couldn't attend and we didn't have any activities this month, or something like that, just so that we know, okay, the person is still here and something is, still going on, etc. So that's something that people don't do, a lot of times. So that's kind of one part. The next part that you can do is be present in Skype, in the discussion groups, and on Facebook. So either or for any of those things, depending on what social media, let's say, you use most, etc. So we do have discussion groups every week. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that when we get to the document that we're going to have for those weekly discussion groups. And then Skype, obviously, we're going to take you out of the Skype chat that you're in now and put you into the POC Skype chat.
Yeah.
Um, and then Facebook, we have a closed private group for only for POCs. So everything that gets posted in Skype, that's any kind of important announcement, etc., gets posted there too. So that's just a redundancy for people that usually that use more, let's say, Facebook than they do Skype. That way they can see it right away there too.
Okay.
So those are three different ways to just kind of um, make your presence known somehow. And then the third one is answering the emails. Generally, we would want to get these emails answered within 3 days, or at least 3 to 5 max. And then if you have the last point here, if you know that you're going to go away and that you won't have access to the email, or if you just go away on vacation, you won't want to deal with it, then you can let us know and we can make a temporary redirect to admin at TVP support. Now, for you guys, there's 3 of you. So as long as you can coordinate amongst yourselves that that somebody's going to be away, etc. Or some teams organize themselves so that only one person is answering the emails all the time. So if that's you, for example, then you let somebody else know, hey, I'm going to be away, check the email. And then if not, we can do the redirect. Also, there's an option of automatic response. So if it's just a week, you can have an automatic response saying, hey, we're going to be away until June 15th, and we'll get back to you then. So that's not a problem either, as long as emails just don't go unanswered.
Okay. Okay.
The cats are wrestling. All right, so those are responsibilities there. And then this part down here is just some of the stuff that we've already talked about. Skype, we're going to talk about a little bit when I'm going to add you to the Skype. Emails, you have Evan and Wendy already checking those emails, so I'm going to leave that to you guys to coordinate about that. Generally, we try to get co-POCs or other POCs in your state to come to these meetings just so that you can meet them, but you guys have already all met, so
Yeah.
I didn't feel like they should necessarily be here because you guys have already met. So that shouldn't be, however you want to organize yourselves, that's fine. So that about the emails, they're going to get you up to speed if or however you guys want to organize that. That you should have access to the email though. So just all 3 of you should have access to the email just in case you need it, or you need access when somebody goes away or whatever it is. Any questions up to now?
Yeah, so the email, I guess I don't know if I'm gonna get access to it after we speak. I haven't. I mean, I guess I haven't spoken to Evan or Wendy about.
Yeah. So yeah, you're just gonna shoot a message to Evan and Wendy because I don't know their access. I don't know their access password. For those, we do have the admin password if it would be necessary to reset that one, but but for all intents and purposes, we don't, go into those emails if it's not necessary. So Evan and Wendy have access to it, and they can just give you the password for it.
Okay.
Okay. Social networks. So for the U.S. people, we don't have state by state. We don't have separate Facebook groups. Okay. We do have, I think, one or two POCs do have a closed group, just because I guess some people like to, communicate, or if they organize something through the group, um, you can do that, but technically they're not official groups, from the point of view that we would, forward them to that from, from any kind of official TVP resource, let's say.
Okay.
All of that goes to, TVP USA. All the POCs will get moderator access for the POC group, though. So you will be able to post in the POC group, and will be there as admin for that group. So that's about the Facebook stuff. Google Hangouts, not much to say. You already know everything.
Yes.
We use them, as you have noticed.
Yeah.
TeamSpeak meetings. You had a few TeamSpeak meetings in the orientation. The same tool will be used for monthly meetings for the POCs, because obviously there's always more than 10 of us there. Generally around 20 to 25, 30, depending. So that's about TeamSpeak. Okay, and then the topics to avoid. So this is something that we went through in the orientation process. So this is something that we won't go over again. So there are some, TVP support relevant and irrelevant topics that we talk about. So you have the link to that document here. And if you have any questions about anything, or if you're not sure whether to or not post something, etc., you can always ask beforehand. You can ask in the POC general chat on Skype, because that's the most populated. So if it's a general question that mostly anybody would know, then you can post there, because it's likely that somebody's online anytime. But if it's something that you feel maybe not appropriate for the group, or that you're not sure or whatnot, you can just send me or Sue or somebody a message, and we'll get to it. Maybe not immediately, but you'll get your answer. So that, and then the last part, promoting other organizations on TVP social networks. Generally, obviously, we try to avoid that. I think we covered that in the relevant and irrelevant topics conversation as well.
Okay.
Now I'm not sure. Did we cover this document in
the orientation process?
Yeah.
The relevant and irrelevant, yes. I remember going over this.
We did, right?
With Sue, yes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I was just, for a second there, I just wasn't sure. I had to go into it and check. Yeah. We did. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So this way you can reference back to that, and then, like I said, if it's something that you're not sure of, you can always shoot a message and say it, and let us know. Okay, and then maybe something to be said here too is, generally stepping down from being a point of contact, or even being removed for inactivity, is not the end of the world. It's not like that's some kind of criminal punishment that has some kind of long-lasting consequences. So so from that point of view, if you're going to be, if you're going to be away for, or know that, let's say that your time is going to be really tight for the next couple of months or something like that, then you can say, hey guys, I just won't be around for a little bit, but I'm coming back. So that's a great habit to have, just because that way we know that not that something's not wrong. We know that you're gone, but you're going to be back, etc. Because a lot of times people just kind of disappear, and then after the fact, oh yeah, I was away.
Yeah.
So it's a really good habit to have, to just shoot us a message. You can just do a quick one line in the chat, if that's and even that's enough, you know what I mean, just so I'll be away for next 2 months doing this. I'll see you when I get back. It's fine. Especially for you guys with that you already have a group, so you already have like 2 or 3 people. So, they can step in, and that's not a problem. The problem is when we have only one person, and then the email is left unresponded. That's the big problem. And it's now gotten, of course, compounded by the fact that those emails are now on the website. So if you go on the website under TVP support, there's a link to the document where all those emails are. So they're considered, as official as we're going to get them to be. But of course, it doesn't it doesn't send a great message if Roxanne gets an email saying that somebody didn't respond. So we generally try to keep an eye on those things, just because of the emails, if nothing else. Okay. Okay, so what we've done here is, as you can see, there is a spreadsheet that has all the POCs that we have up to now. And if you scroll down, then you'll see that 47 is the first one that is clear. And so if you're gonna be so good as to put your name and last name there, basically it's just kind of a confirmation that you read this document, that we went through it, and the relevant and irrelevant topics document. And that's pretty much it.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, you can just put in first name, last name, and then Massachusetts, USA. I guess that's it. Let me just quickly see if we have anyone here that is MIA. Huh. I think Nick really should. I think Nick was already removed, wasn't he? Let me do a quick check here.
All right, so I entered it, but it said it's as a suggestion for now.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, Nick. Okay, we'll do that later. All right. I have to make it a little bit bigger. All right, perfect. Good. So that's off to the next one.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so this is the fun one here. POC discussion group spreadsheet. So this is kind of a more basic version of your POC orientation spreadsheet. Okay, so you'll see that this one's actually a little less complicated. It only has two. Well, it has 3 tabs, but really 2 tabs that are all that you need. So one is the calendar and one is the progress. As you can see, we have 2 um, that we had, I should say rather, two um, two time slots for these POC discussion groups. Now, the discussion groups are not really formatted as the orientation is formatted, meaning that there is no beginning and ending to these sessions. What that means is that they are at a fixed currently. Only, unfortunately, Sue doesn't have time to host the Tuesday sessions anymore. So we only have my sessions, which are every Friday at 0100 UTC, which is for us 9 p.m. on Thursday. So every Thursday at 9 p.m. there is a POC discussion group.
Okay.
The topics, we have 23 or 4 different topics that are on a rotating schedule. So basically they just come up as they go continuously. So whenever you drop in, whatever topic you drop into, that's the topic that you participate in. So it's not a start to finish. It's not a 1 to 24. It's just on a repeat. Okay.
Okay.
um so, and it's also more of a free for all than the orientation, meaning that you can join and participate even if even if you hadn't gone through the lecture. Let's say that you were busy or whatnot, you can still come and participate, or at least listen in on the discussion if you want. And so basically you can drop in regardless of what happens. Of
Okay.
course, I would suggest for you and for the session itself that if you do make notes, that's going to make things better. So either for you and for me, because then I can kind of see, oh, there's some certain questions for this, and maybe we can focus more on that. Okay. These discussions are not as scripted. So a lot of times, if there's more questions about a certain part of the topic, then we will spend a whole hour there. Okay.
Oh
They're,
wow.
they're a lot more, yeah. So they're a lot more, they as they come, that's how they are. It's not, I don't have, I mean, I have a bunch of notes and questions, etc. But if there's some specific things that people get more into, then we can spend, the whole time for that, even though the lecture is maybe broader than that. So it's very dependent on who's there. So chances are that if you come twice to the same session, it might be very different as far as the content.
Do you mind?
Um,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Do you mind just repeating at what time the Thursday sessions were?
yeah. So Thursday for us, it's at 9 p.m.
Okay,
9 p.m. Eastern. Yeah. So that's every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern.
every Thursday. Okay.
Yeah. And then when the time change happens, I still keep it at 9 p.m. Eastern. I don't go by UTC for this one,
Oh,
just because it moves to 10, and 10 is a little late already. So I keep it at 9 Eastern. So in the winter, I mean in the summertime, it's at 100 UTC, and then when the clocks change, it's at 200 UTC. But for us, it's always at 9 p.m. Eastern.
all right. All right. Sounds good.
All right. So that's yeah. So that's Thursday. Um, the calendar, as you can see, is just you can see all the topics that are coming up. So you can see that the next one is, Friday the 15th or Thursday the 15th for us. And the topic is transition. So the one last week was canceled because there was only one person that showed up, and we decided, okay, we're going to postpone the topic. So that's what's coming up next week.
Okay. Sounds good.
To the dump, and then you have all the ones here. Now, there are additional topics. I think there are 4 topics that repeat from the orientation. some of the basics. So scientific method repeats, transition repeats, uh, expectations and mechanistic point of view repeats, and I think education. So
Okay.
those are the four that are repeats, and then all the other ones are new. So I will give you access. I will give you access to those lectures.
Okay.
Oh, I see what's wrong here. These are, oh, okay, I see. Mhm. Uh, okay, so you should have. Can you try and click on uh, creativity, for example? That's one
Okay. Let me see.
that's coming up on at the end of this month. What? What? These dates are not. These dates are not right. What's going on here? Something's wrong.
Sorry about that, Sasha.
Oh, no problem. What? Oh, you dropped out?
Yeah, I had dropped out. So my tablet won't let me play a video and be in the session at the same time.
Ah, okay.
But the video does work for me.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's good enough. It's just so that you have access to it. That's what's
Okay.
important. Okay, why is this not?
Is there a reason why the dates are aligned like that, where the day is first and the month?
That's just because it does that automatically.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, no, that's just because that's how it's right. That's the right way to do it. That's why. Uh, yeah, no, it's because mostly the people that organized all these documents were all from Europe. So
uh, Makes sense.
yeah. Wait, why is this not working though? Hey, why don't we just do this? And we overwrite it. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, well, as long as it works for you, that's the important thing. Okay, so you're gonna have at any time if you want, you're gonna have access to these. I don't know if you do you have the lecture the library lecture set?
The library lecture set. What do you mean by that?
The CDs, the 36 CD collection of Jacques Fresco's audio and video lectures.
Oh, okay. No, as far as the DVD goes, or CDs, I should say, I have the series one of the classic lecture series.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the discussion group now, you're going to get access to 5 of the old audios and all the rest of the videos from the library set.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, and then in addition to that, there's also, I guess, 4 or 5 uh, lectures that are from YouTube that are not jocks.
Mm.
So the topics of epigenetics, the human behavior from Sapolsky, the human behavior from Hank Schlinger, and then the consciousness from Hank Schlinger, and violence from James Gilligan. So those are the ones that we have that are not jocks. Those are links to from the YouTube.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
So all of those are sessions that are coming up. So if you click on the tab progress,
Okay.
all right, so this is again a version of the spreadsheet that you had for you guys, only that there's more people here, and a little bit more sessions. So no, 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 no. So we're gonna add you here.
So you guys keep progress of
Yeah. So this is yeah, we keep progress here. It's more for for your kind of personal but also for us just to see who's where. You start off with the first one filled out, which is orientation completed. As you see, the numbers are a little bit off here, but I can change this later, because the orientation here is numbered 1 through 27.
oh,
That's when we had 27 sessions. So that's still from the old one. We just haven't adjusted it. But anyway, so you start off with 40% in, and then every one that you fill out is additional, I guess 3% each, I guess, and then the total comes to 100.
okay.
Uh, and but you can track yourself, seeing which topics you've already done. You can see the topics here too, which ones there even are, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. So you can see that. My phone? Yeah, it's charging. Just that's right there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's pretty much it as far as this goes. As you can see, there's a few people that have a brown color where the orientation completed is. That means that these guys have been POCs for so long that there wasn't any orientation when they started.
Wow.
Um, and so that would include me and Sue as well, but we got ours done just because we're the hosts. uh, and there's a few other people like that too, actually. And then there's also a few people that have a kind of a light bluish or gray. That means that they have finished the orientation, but it was the older version of an orientation, so it wasn't for the fourth iteration or newer, is what is considered here. And then if it's older than that, then we just have it marked here. Anyways, that's just so that you know why not everybody has that green
Yeah.
first one. Okay. So that's it. So you have access to all those immediately, and then obviously you're invited to come on any of these that you can, if that's going to be possible for you on Thursday. If not, let us know. Generally, Sue had another session, like I mentioned before, on Tuesdays during the day, but she can't. Over the summer, she works too much, so she can't handle that session
Yeah.
at the moment. And then hopefully, maybe any of the other people might be interested. We already have somebody that wants to start, so maybe in a couple of weeks when he gets back from travels, he's going to start we're gonna start another group, another weekly, session that's gonna be um, hosted. Anyway, all right, so that's the fun part, and now pretty much I only have one more thing as far as all these links go here,
Okay.
and that's the social media announcement. Now, generally, I don't spend a lot of time on this with you guys, meaning the guys that are here in the US. Okay, so mostly this is for people that organize their own, social media, TVP Turkey or Slovenia or whatever it is. Um, just because there are some guidelines as far as what you can or what you should and shouldn't post. Obviously, those some of those things are covered also in the session with where that document is covered, relevant and irrelevant topics. But anyway, you can check that out um, if you want. You can open that one and just see some of the things. But for the most part, it's just from the need to have a unified, I guess, message so that there's not random things that get shared without knowing what they are,
Where
etc.
uh um where's the document at?
Oh, that's the last document that I dropped into our chat. So it says social media announcements guidelines, and
Oh,
then
uh,
it just says the document it says doesn't even have that guidelines. We can remove that. It's just social media announcement. Yeah, it's just oh, I see what happened here. It didn't. We didn't put another space.
yeah. Okay, no, I see it. I see it here.
Um, So yeah, so for you, this is not going to be that big of a problem because for the most part, anything that's on TVP Global, you can just share right away. If it's on Global, it means it's good to go,
Okay.
and it's everything's in English there already anyway. Um, so that's an easy thing. Also, anything that's on the official TVP YouTube, good to share immediately. That's not a problem. Anything that's on the website, meaning any kind of link that goes to the website anywhere, is good to go. Anything that links to an official platform of the ones that we mentioned is good to go. So that goes without saying. And then if you have something that you're not sure of whether or not to post, then you can drop again a message in that chat. For the groups, which is what the USA is, TVP USA group or TVP Support USA. The groups are a little bit more relaxed about that, meaning that if it's something that's relevant to TVP and you kind of uh, in the opening post you kind of explain how this is relevant and why it's interesting, then that's fine too. The groups are a little bit more um, discussion oriented, and it's not a problem if it's not necessarily an official official TVP link. But for the people that have pages that hold the name TVP support, those are a little bit more strict. Anyway, so you can go through this a little bit if you're interested. For the most part, that's not necessarily going to be really something um, that you're gonna need. But if you will, you can reference it at any time.
Okay.
All right. So, whew. Any questions about anything really
Uh,
so
not
far, or
no, not right now. I think you the message was clear with most things, and when I had a question, I asked it earlier. So yeah.
okay? Um. All right. So we can also add you over here, which is let me find you. Yeah. Moldova, Massachusetts. Here we go. Uh, uh, okay. this is all here. This is good. Oh, we got this. Okay, so now the time is, I'm going to leave you for a day or two in that POC orientation group. You can, just let people know that you'll see them when they finish the orientation or
Yeah.
whatnot. Drop a message there, and then afterwards I can remove you, or you can just leave by yourself. And then I'm gonna add you to the two. Okay, we have two Skype groups, and I'll tell you why we have two instead of just one.
Interesting.
So before I hit this, so we got two groups that pretty much have the same people in them. So the group of POCs are in both of these. The difference is that one is just a general TVP POC team, and it's for general, still TVP related, but general conversation. So if you have a question, if you need help with anything, that's one. And then the other one that has a different color avatar is TVP POC announcements with exclamation points. And that's the one where we just drop important announcements in. So anything that happens, any kind of new document, linked to the weekly discussion meeting, things like that. So there's no chit chat in there. So avoiding anything, even yes, okay, no, I'll be there, and things like that. No, nothing. Just so if you have anything that you want to, say that you can't make it, or that you have problems with technology or whatever it is, you click to the other group. So those are the two groups. And so this is the first one that I'm adding you to now, is the general one. It has a yellow avatar, and then the other one has a very distinct pink avatar.
Okay. TVP POC team. Okay.
Yeah, and then the other one is announcements. There we go. Okay. All right, and so the other one is POC team announcement. So you can see that one. The graphic is the same. It's just a distinct pink color. So
Okay.
generally, you can't easily mix them up. Okay, so and then the yellow one, like I said, anything that has to do with that's TVP related, more than welcome to drop it in there if you have a question, or if you have an interesting link to share with people and you want feedback on if it's relevant or not, or whatever it is. Basically, can go there. Now, I don't know how power user of Skype you are, but so one of the reasons why we did these two groups is because a lot of times if there's a conversation in the POC group, it can be 100 or a couple of hundred notifications for somebody that comes on like 2 days later. And so for those people, a lot of times they would get overwhelmed, or they would miss important things that got dropped in between all that. So if you do get to that kind of a situation and you see that there's a lot of notifications, and you don't have necessarily the time to read through everything, you can just click on the scroll and just pull it all the way down, and then go into the second group and just see in the announcements if it's anything important for you that you have to address or that you have to comment on, and that saves you the time if you're just not able to follow the whole conversation. So but of course, if you want to, you're more than welcome to engage in anything that's there otherwise.
Okay.
All right, so that's it, and I guess we'll let me close some of these tabs down. It's just too many things open now. All this stuff can be closed. Okay. All right. And then, okay, so, and then the same thing. TVP POCs group. I'll add you here too.
So you said that you guys update when we watch those lectures for the new spreadsheet that you added me to?
Sorry, where?
To the spreadsheet that has the new lectures that you gave me. So
Yeah.
so you guys update that?
Update in what way?
So you see how everyone has those green
Yeah.
bars? Okay.
Yeah. So whoever is the host updates that document when the Hangout is finished. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so where we are. Okay, let me just see if I missed anything with my little document of things to check off. We did this, we did this, we did this, we did this. I also just added you to the group um, on Facebook. So that's a group just called TVP POCs. It's a closed group. So as they're sharing, so you saw the POC discussion groups. I gave you the access. We talked about the TeamSpeak meetings. This we have. This we don't need for you. This we did. And okay, this is for me. Okay, so that's pretty much it. The last thing I have is, did Sue mention the Faces for TVP campaign?
Yes, she did. I took the picture today, so I should be working on the description either tonight or tomorrow when I have time.
Okay, yeah, that's great. So basically, we're gonna do probably every other day. One of the people from that list is gonna be posted on TVP Global, um, so that we have so that people see that there's activity, that there's groups around the world anyway. So I'm going to be hitting up all the because there's a few POCs that still haven't done that. So I'll be reminding them to do that as well. And yeah, if you need, you can see uh, that folder, that album on TVP Global if you want to go there to get a few ideas basically of what
Yeah.
people wrote. Some people write more, some people write less. Whatever however you want to cut it is fine.
Okay.
But you can go and check out some of the things that other people got there. Okay, well, there's no big ceremonies for uh, for finishing the orientation. We don't have we don't throw any hats and have any parties or anything like that.
Yeah.
But congratulations! It's great. It's great to see people finish these, and especially since you got off to a running start with Wendy and Evans. That's really great because that's a lot of times can also be a problem. If you got people that are very far away from you, or there's nobody maybe even there if you're the first person, etc. It's always a little bit more challenging. So um, so hopefully for you guys, it's already a little bit more fun, and especially having the ability to hang out and do that. That's really great. So.
Yeah, it is. It is. So.
All right. Well, remind Evan and Wendy about the access to the email, and then you
Yeah.
guys, like I said, as far as that goes, you're on your own. How you want to organize yourself in that regard. Um, But yeah, that's great.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I know Wendy wanted to have like either weekly or bi-weekly sessions for us to to speak about things. So that should start pretty soon. So once that starts, I'll ask for the password and we'll get more into details about that.
Sounds good.
Uh,
Sounds good. All right. Well, it was great chatting with you,
you too.
and getting to know you. You're not that far. I mean, one of these events that you're gonna be making, me and Jen are surely gonna drop by. I mean, it's just 4 and something hours, but we've been just swamped too much right now.
Oh,
We couldn't even get to Julio's event that Evan went to, and but we couldn't make it. It was just too much stuff going on privately, so it wasn't. We
oh
didn't
wait,
have that.
are you guys in New York too?
Yeah, we're in New Jersey, so not too far. Yeah, not too far from New York. We got a couple of hours.
Okay.
So but yeah, well, it's. I mean, it's only a matter of time before we come up there
Yeah.
and join one of these uh, events that you guys have. That's for sure.
Okay. Yeah, sounds great. Sounds great.
All right. Okay. Well, I mean, this is not. This doesn't mean that it's the end of our communication. If you need anything or whatnot, just at any time. Sue, has the same sentiment. So if you need anything or just don't hesitate to ask. It's better to ask and than to just quietly have some kind of a problem that you can't necessarily deal with or not sure what to do about. So we'll always be here, and that's more of our role as far as from now on being a support and just kind of giving feedback and maybe share some experience. But other than that, it's really up to you guys as far as what you want to do. But like I said, you seem to be off to a good start. So
Yeah, yeah. I kind of fell into a lucky predicament.
yeah, 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 definitely. Which is great. I mean, that's good. It's good to have that. All right. Take care. Have a good rest of the weekend, and well, one thing I guess just in closing is that a couple of months from now, me and Sue or both, or I don't know, we'll see what turns out. We're gonna have another little follow up meeting for all you guys and girls that are finishing. So we're gonna have another short um, form for you to fill out for a little bit of feedback as far as the first months of points of contact, being and seeing where everything is and what are some of the maybe things that you come across that are not sure of, didn't get enough information on maybe or whatnot. Because right now you don't really know what everything and what's going to happen. But then when you get into it, you see that maybe there are some certain things that would be good to be clarified and weren't or whatever it is. So we'll try to hit you up in about 2 or 3 months and then have another quick hangout like this and just see if there's anything that we need to try to improve, etc. But we're already working on some improvements ourselves. So we'll very shortly. I'm going to drop probably an announcement or an invitation for people that want to participate um, for a project for the POCs, basically some kind of a activity tracking system for us. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll see if there's going to be people that want to participate in that kind of thing, and what we can do. Anyway, so that's gonna be pretty shortly, and then like I said, a couple of months, and then we'll get together for another session and see if we can get some more feedback.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Have fun. I'll see you soon.
All right,
All
definitely.
right.
It
Bye
was
bye.
nice talking to you.